Hello and welcome to Intuitive Clarifications with Natasha. I am an intuitive medium who has practiced many things about how to live through our emotions, how to live through our life, how to do this. And I was born very intuitive because I've lived many lifetimes with intuition and come from very many generations in this humanness from generations of intuition too. So I kind of get the big picture about life and how to work through it. And then, in this lifetime, my life has just been about how can we work through this life that we're in. And I want to help you. So today, there's going to be Mikael. Mikael is going to come through um, and tell you some stuff that is going on. I don't know what he's going to talk about. He just said, I'll speak for you because I was kind of depending on what I was going to speak about today. And today, it was like coming out about um, how do we, heal through some of this stuff that we're going through. Right now we're going into Mercury in retrograde. We have the equinox coming up on March 20th here. We have on around the 17th, we have the first partial eclipse. And so we're going through a lot, like we've been going through. We have gone through a lot of HE double sticks, hockey sticks, a lot of things going on, right? We feel like we can never get our feet underneath us sometimes because there's so many planetary changes. And that's the way this year was set up. I knew it was going to be one of those years. Everybody was like, oh, I hope 2020 or 2025 is going to be better. And I'm like going, well, yeah, it will be, but it's going to be about our perspective. It's going to be about making choices. It's going to be about how do we have loving boundaries around things? How do we negotiate these things? And the year of the snake is a very good representation of this, of the Chinese New Year of the snake. It was about how do we shed off that old skin? And I talked about this last week in my show about my awakening with my sexual not being honored for my life, for who I've been, for my partners that I've been doing. And if you want to go back and watch last week's show, to give you some ideas on how I was negotiating some of that. Well, that's healing the old story, and how am I healing that is the question. How am I going forward in this? Now, this is a week after, right? And this is, and I got the question, how do I heal these old stories? How do I negotiate these callings that we have? How do we negotiate what we're doing? And, it's a thing, that sometimes we have to have loving boundaries, tough love around ourselves. Sometimes we have to have the loving boundaries around who we are and what we're doing. And, it's not easy sometimes when we're doing that to have those loving boundaries. I know for me, I knew, when I would start breaking out in a rash at certain times of intimacy, even just hugs and kisses sometimes, that I would break out in hives. And I'm like going, okay, so this is where I wasn't safe. And this is where, things in my past where it could either go one way or go the other way. It could be even with my partner now that I have had for 34 years now. We married in 81. So, it's 25. So, you know, we've been married a long time, and there was a lot of years that with his drinking and this narcissistic attitude that I wasn't feeling safe. And, he was very depressed also. So, a lot of depression goes with narcissism. And it's not that somebody has to be a narcissist not to have narcissistic attitude. Sometimes that attitude can come in. And I know that for me, and hello, everybody who's watching, I just jumped right in here, that, how do you heal from that? And that's the thing is that I use a simple mantra. I'm safe. I'm safe. Nervous system, mindset, inner child, moments where that happened, whatever it is, I'm safe. And that's the thing is I would picture that part of me that wasn't safe. It could have been me as a 28-year-old, me as a 30-year-old, me as a teenager, me as a little young kid. It could have been me even as a 50-something-year-old that I wasn't safe. And I could be, hey, I want to be safe, right? I'm safe. And there was a part of me that in this last 2 weeks after that awakening that I didn't know where to go, and I was so grateful for Catherine who, she really helped me out in that turning point of myself, just giving a voice to be heard, and that's how sometimes we heal, is just being heard. This happened to me, and somebody just holding space to be heard. But it's like I put that part of me, I have this metaphorical wagon that I put these parts of me that aren't too sure about moving forward in myself, and I put them in this metaphorical wagon, and they get carried along in the wagon. Come on, guys, let's go. Like a kid pulling a kid in a wagon, right? Well, there's these parts of us that need to be pulled along. And right now, there's a lot of fear of what the future's going to be. There's a lot of fear of where we're going. And yet we don't know the path. We don't know the journey of that yet. And I'm saying that in my newsletter too, that, it's like we don't know what the future's going to be yet, because of the fact that we can think that, our president right now, hi, Chandra, thank you for being here, that our, ability to, what's going on with our government. Well, who's to say that he's going to do 4 years? I don't know. What's to say that, you know, that, um, our government's not gonna, be flipping flopping. We don't know. You know, what I'm grateful for is that, maybe with us having our scenario, other countries are gonna make more better decisions for them instead of always leaning on us. So we don't know what the total cause and effect is gonna be. And Chandra, you said, I wanted to say hi. We'll have to leave soon, but happy to be here. My question is, what if we don't know the parts of us that need healing, but know healing is needed because of this, of the certain triggers? Well, triggers actually, thank you for using that word, are our teller for what does need to be healed. And if we do get triggered by a tone, like for me, there's a lot of screeching and yelling that is going on, at my, school job, and but I'm really noticing how, what's the word, neurodivergent or whatever that language is that I really am. And it's like, okay, so what I do is that for me, I'm really starting to say I'm attuning to the energies of the now, because that energy can be something that I just need to be careful. Or what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey guys, can you not, like when they're flapping the table, after they're clean, the benches up on the table, that they're flapping them. I go, hey guys, can you do that a little softer, please? So there's the loving boundaries. But sometimes we don't know what's going to be healed. I didn't know this part of me needed to be healed, but I could tell you there was tellers, like my back would break out in hives at certain times of the day and the night. And I would be going, that's kind of interesting. So start getting what the history is building up to, because sometimes when we recognize what the heal what that moment is, that, like, okay, that's the third night in a time, and that my at this certain moment, it didn't have to be the time on the clock, but this certain moment, oh, this is happening, so there might be something here. And then if you can, when you get into a moment where, okay, when they say certain thing, that's what triggers me, right? That, okay, so then what part of me doesn't understand that? What part of me is questioning that? So let's say if it bothers me that somebody says, like for me, when my husband would say stupid. Okay, I'm going to throw that word out there. When we first met, he would say the word stupid. That was a trigger for me. Do not call me stupid. Do not use that word stupid. Nobody is stupid, right? Well, I actually know at that time when that trigger of that word was stupid, that how many times was I called stupid because I was dyslexic. So then I felt less than people. So then that was that part of me that says I'm not less than somebody. I'm different than somebody, but I'm not less than somebody. And so that part of me, that dyslexic part of me that wanted to say, I am not stupid, right? that, that I had to honor her. I had to honor it. I needed to honor him, whatever it was, because it doesn't matter if it's male, female, or whatever, right? That, then I knew that that was a part of me. Now there was other parts of me. Maybe there was other lifetimes where I was made the wrong choice and I was called stupid in another language or another word. And so that word was a collective of lifetimes where I was deemed less than somebody else. And so, and that's where I really use, sometimes I don't know what needs to be healed. And I just use the blanket mantra. I'm asking for healing on this. I'm asking that something comes up in awareness is that we can heal this part of me, even though I don't necessarily know all of you. And that's the thing is that we don't need to know all of it. We're all in the midst of changing our life. We're all in the midst of doing things, and we do not need to heal all of us at one time. It's called a journey. We're in this life from birth, pre birth in the womb, to our ending, going into another lifetime. We are in the middle of this journeying of this healing part of us because we heal no matter if we're in this physical body or not. But the physical body gives us a chance to heal the 3D emotions and stories that our soul is calling to work on. So, welcome everybody who's showing up right now. you know that as we're going forward, and be me being an intuitive medium, I get the bigger picture, I get the stories, right? I get that understanding of the bigger picture. And then I also understand, because if you look at my astrology chart, most of my planets are in water. So it's like emotions. Water is emotions. And so what do? I'm sitting in emotions most of my life. And so, how do I manage that? So, I love to support people going through those emotions and those stories. And as we go forward, remembering that going into this, that our healing of our life, the healing of who we are, that is the journey. Like I was saying, I think even last week, that it's like we come into this life thinking that we're going to have and I use the analogy of a stew, or a soup, that is like we're coming into this world and we think, okay, I'm going to be born and my soup is going to be so tremendous. And then we forget that mom puts in too much salt, dad puts in too many potatoes, uncle or aunt or sister or brother puts in too much oregano or chili powder or whatever it is, right? And so we get into these different things about our stews, and it takes us a lifetime of healing it. And so thank you. Chandra says, makes some sense. I was just about, what if we don't know the underlining cause or moment as a child in our history, but you laid it out so well. Thank you. Yes, and I feel so dedicated by our emotions. Yes, so we do get so distracted by our emotions, and that's the thing is our emotions are a teller. Fear, anxiety, all that kind of stuff is just a teller for where we're at right now. Nothing more, nothing less. A lot of us give our emotions so much more voice than they deserve. Now, everybody deserves to be heard. Now, I talk to my emotions like they're my friend. Yeah, hi, dude. How you doing? I know right now you're angry, but we cannot be angry right now because I need to drive, or I need to have a conversation with my other half, or my sibling, or my this other person, my coworker, and I can't be angry while I'm talking about that, right? Hi, man on the moon. you know I can't be as angry as you want me to be. And so going into this, and remember, your thoughts a lot of times represent the emotions that you're having. So think about this. What is triggering those reactive interactions? Well, he did that. Well, she did that. Well, it did that. Well, they said that. And well, they did this over here and they did that over there. Well, yeah, but that's part of that emotion of feeling hurt. So is actually hurt talking. And that hurt is trying to get the mind to think about these different things, right? So, how can we negotiate this hurt that we're feeling? How can we be at peace with this hurt that we're feeling? Cry for a minute. Like last week, I said that I bawled. I mean, I was flat out, I don't know where to go from here. I really don't know where to go from here. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to be. But I can tell you, even saying those words, I don't know where to go from here, gave me an opportunity to be in surrender, acceptance, wisdom, and understanding that this is a reality that I know needs to be healed. Saying those moments, I don't know where to go from here, is a breath. It's a breath that tells the universe, okay, we can guide her. Well, I know for me that when my husband came home and he recognized that I wasn't quite right, oh God, I can only say thank you, my husband, of the man I am married to now. Oh my gosh, he has done so much inner work on himself. And he really realized where I was at. And he was tender. He was tender. And I know not everybody's with somebody who is tender. I can understand that and I can respect that. This is the first time in my 32, 34, 5 years of being married that I actually feel like I'm with a tender man. Ain't that amazing? Right? Ain't that amazing that it's taken 30 some odd years to be with a tender man? But also, too, I can also understand that my life was mirroring who I am. Oh, isn't that a story? My life was mirroring who I am. And if I am feeling less than, I'm going to have somebody in my life mirroring my less than. If I am sad all the time, my life is gonna mirror sadness. I was just talking or listening to a video about shungite and how, people think that shungite was this magical stone of healing. Well, it is. Every stone is a magical stone of healing, but her perspective and her story is that she knows that it's a drawer of what we are. And so if you want to have shungite help you with repelling the negative energies. Oh, what are you repelling? Negative energies, right? Well, yeah. Well, though you have to have negative energies to repel them. Well, sometimes we don't have the negative energies, right? But saying that we have those negative energies, we're calling them in. So, going into this, be careful of what you feel like is mirroring you. Now, I can tell you that the government right now here in the US is not necessarily mirroring who I am. But I can tell you, though, that I am hearing that it's not a straight line, that things are starting out a certain way, and then they back up, and then they start another way, and then they back up, and then they start another way, and they back up. And you notice that on the video here that I'm coming at different angles. Hmm. So the journey of life is not a straight line. And it's not going to ever be a straight line. It's called humanness. And that's the thing is that we need to have tough love with the humanness that is around here, the humanness that is not. Now, like for me, I've had some, as Mercury's going into retrograde, we have to be careful about communication. We have to be careful about who we are. We have to be careful about life. And that's what I forgot to put in my newsletter. Shoot. So that communication is going to be very important right now. How are you communicating to yourself? How are you communicating to others? Because I can tell you over this last week, I really was be careful about how I stayed in my victimhood of my past story. I didn't want to be my victim of my past story. I was healing my past story. So how can you heal that past story? And part of it is that you don't stay in your past story. You recognize that I'm doing things different. I'm making different choices now. I'm understanding that I can be stronger in that moment. I can be more vulnerable. For me, I was more vulnerable by being more loving, more outward, more caressing, more more enthusiastic. So but then that was part of me that wasn't feeling safe. Well, I know I'm safe now, so we have to go against what my nervous system is feeling. And it's not a battle. Don't ever battle anything. It's about saying, "Come on, along for the ride. We're safe now. Let's try this. Let's practice this. Let's feel like we're safe." And if we battle something, then that means that we're struggling with something. We don't want to battle something, do we? We don't want to head it on. We want to walk with it and move forward with it because that's going to be grace. And if we're wanting more grace in our life, that's where we need to bring in grace. So, if you can, be aware that life is happening around us, life is happening for us. And our 3D world of our emotions and our story wants us to, and our mind want to keep us in disharmony, in destruction, and our emotions don't really necessarily, and I know my emotions are smart. I'm not trying to say that they're not smart, but they're very reactive. They're very reactive to what life's happening. And so if we are in reaction to a lot of things, then our emotions are going to be jumping. And that's one thing that I want you to think about. How reactive are your emotions? I know for mine have practiced a little bit more grace, a little bit more breath, a little bit more understanding with that evolution of that. Hey, we don't need to jump at everything that bites. Like for me, now when somebody says, "Hey, stupid," I kind of go, "Okay." And you're thinking what? Because I know I'm not. I'm free from that journey, right? So it's like, but that's what I'm telling myself first. And then I might say, "You know what? I don't really feel like anybody's stupid because I can say that you have smarts where I don't, and I have smarts where you don't. So who's really stupid here? Nobody." Now, there's certain people who are on the spectrum, they may not have any smarts that is in the, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or the ABCs, right? But oh my gosh, are they connected with the universe more than we are? So really, everybody has part is part of this puzzle, the puzzle piece of this world, right? If we put all the puzzle pieces together, it's amazing the puzzle that we make. But we have to be vulnerable enough to see that. So, with that, I think this is a good time for Mikael to come in. Mikael is a star being. He is a star being of the universe, and he really, really enjoys helping us. Bashard, if you ever hear of Bashard, and he is another star being who wants to help this planet. And Mikael is a lot in that same category. He is the guardian of the galaxies, and he really wants to help us on this planet to come up. And he came to me later last year, saying that he wanted to come forward and channel through me. And he has been a blessing, strong guide of mine ever since then. So thank you, Mikkel. Now I am a channeler. I will close my eyes and I hope you feel the energy of it. But remember, if you don't believe in channeling, that's fine. There's a message in the knowings. There's a message in the vision. So if you can listen to the words and see. Now, with that, as we're going forward, I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards if I have time at the end. I have to scoot out right after this, so I may not spend too much time on card readings. I might just do a card reading. Depends on how long Mikkel goes. That I will do just a few minutes of this. So, hi, Veronica. Thank you for being here. You are such a gem. Okay, so let me get a drink here. I can tell he's coming in, so I'm getting a little babbly here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so trust the process and know that I will not see any questions, But if you want to put a question in, maybe he might get it intuitively. I am not necessarily aware of the questions. So, and remembering that when somebody channels through you, they are using the mind of the person. And as so some of his language is some of mine. He is coming through my mind that is allowing the language to come through. And so please remember that life is life and we're doing the better we can. Okay. So here I go. Hello, lovelies. You are going through some major changes in your life. You are so empowered to be yourself. So remember that these planetary changes that are coming in this month, your equinox, your eclipses that are set up in the ability to be. And this dear one just got a vision of it. And yes, it's almost like the Matrix. It is like the Matrix, where things are coming up where you are understanding that the sky that you are seeing may not be the full sky that you understand. There's a lot of truths that are coming out that are going to be very interesting for you to recognize. And people have said about going to the moon. People have said that they want to go to other planets like Mars and Jupiter and different planets like that. Well, guess what? They are just figments out there of knowing in the solar system. Yes, there are many planets. Yes, they are called the Jupiter, the Mars, the Plutos. There's different planets there, and I want to make sure that I'm clear here that there is, but there is a filter on this planet. So you'll see the stars where they are. You see the moon where it is. You see these different things. And the matrix part of this, as the word is that has been so used here on this planet, that the matrix, the vision that you are seeing, is a true vision of what you are meant to see. Because if you were to see all the ships, all the star beings around your planet, it would freak, I love that word, freak your whole countries, all with an S, countries out. Hmm. So we have cloaked your planet. Soon that cloaking will come off and you will see the moon, yes. You will see the stars, yes. You will see the planets, yes. You will see a lot of this. But the thing is, though, you will not see, you will see it through other eyes of ships and understandings. We have used your planet here for many lifetimes. We actually helped make it. This dear one has a vision of that. That it is one of those things that as you go forward, you are going to know that we are here to be helpful. If we wanted to do damage to your planet, we would have done it a long time ago. We would have that opportunity. Now, as you go forward, and a lot of the old uh, empires that have been on this planet in different uh, clicks of time, I'm going to call them clicks of time, that they were very connected to us. We very much helped them with their technology and understanding. They have left to come home to their starships and their own individual planets. So, as you come into this year of understandings, this is part of the awakening that your planet is coming into, that it is part of this understanding. And so, when you are worried about the small things of, let's say, the anger that there's too much salt on the food, or the anger that there is no food in the kitchen, or the anger that the screw did not go in the wood the right way, the anger that the car did not start up when you started it up. Those are all part of the understanding. Can you breathe and relax through these moments? Miracles, as the word is said, is coming forward for many of you in many different ways. And if you can, trust the process. Chandra, my dear child, you are awakening, and your husband is on a slower path than you. So remember that you are in the middle of this transformational moment of your old story walking into your new, realizing that the physical body of the ADHD and the very much of the sensitivities and the wisdom is coming into very much of a vibration of bigger understandings. And that's why there are sensitivity. You are awakening your daughter, and your son is already awakened. That's why he loves you so much, because he sees who you truly are. Veronica, my dear child, you are coming into this new fruition of who you are. You have come into an empowerment that is beyond the ones around you that are mirroring your old story. Good for you. You will make movement to your better place because you're trusting that process. You are taken care of. And as you go forward into this, now others that are watching this, you are coming into a fruition of greatness, but you're worried about the world around you as the understandings, like the governments and stuff. Well, the governments are going through just as much changes as coming into this as you are. So remember that things cannot stay the same, and this is the battle of the tug of old life and new life, and it's like taffy trying to be pulled apart, and taffy will not pull apart, will it? Unless you really break it apart. So play with the taffy and see where you can come out of this in your betterment. Now, remembering that old will stay, new will come in, but it's up to us how we negotiate that. And as you come forward into this understanding, by the end of this year, you will see much that you do not believe that was there, and believe that there is things there that you do not know about. That's a tricky statement I just made, right? Because by the end of this year, you will see more than you've ever seen. You will know more than you ever known. You will understand truly what is. We are coming to you for your greater good, as this planet is in need of this. There is a difference between the ego of the old and the ego of the new. And the ego of the old is really battling with the ego of the new. The ego of the new is called kindness and understanding. The ego of the old is judgment and what's the word I want to use? Commanding, judgment, commanding, and oh, there's that word. Judgment, commanding, and I am the strength of wisdom. They are not the strength of wisdom. Everyone is the strength of wisdom, but they believe that they are the one, and all else is, as this dear one used earlier, the word stupid. You are not stupid. You are part of that pieces of the what is to come. That is part of this awakening. We have secret moments in the government that can help things move forward. We are really working on your food to vibration to come up. It is important. We do not, I, Mikael, and Bashar, and others do not eat food like you, that our bodies don't need that. But we do cherish that your bodies will need this for many years to come, because that is the way that it has been set up in the past. See, that is a past food that is healthy to stay for going forward. But remember that it's not about the food that is you open up the package and you be. Remember that going into to who you are, it's about how do you uh, see a plant go rotten, because it has a time frame on it, right? If a food cannot be time framed, we know that it is not at all healthy for you to eat. This dear one's husband did not understand for a little bit that after 4 days, the bread can mold, as he was learning to bake, because he was used to the bread that would stay good for 2 to 4 weeks, right? Which is healthier for you. Yes, the one that would mold in 4 days. Because we are all in the midst of learning how to be stronger with the food that is shorter time frame, because we are all in a time frame that if we get more fresher at that moment, let's say you pick the lettuce and eat it the same day, the vibration of that plant is so vital for your body. Now, we don't all have that availability, right? Yes. But the thing is, though, you can be in the strength of who you are. This is coming into fruition of knowing and understanding. The farmers on your planet are having a stronger voice more than they ever have today. And so, going into who they are and what they are, we need to back them. You need to say hi. You need to be in support of them, because your food is very valuable for you. Your body has a choice right now in this evolution to come into being more into alignment of greater health. This dear one woke up her dear person at work about this, about how she said that she does not eat as much processed food anymore. And the other person said, "Yes, I can see how maybe you probably feel better, don't you?" She said, "Yes." This dear one said, "Yes." So, who are you supporting in your next journey? You do not know. Trust the journey of what is coming forward. The voices that speak loudest are the ones with the most ego. Be careful. Now, there is good ego and there is not good ego. And that is where you need to call in your guides, your understanding, and trust the point of where does somebody have the good ego to speak up, or the one that wants to bring others down. Trust your vision of where you are going. Remember, this is a time for you to really trust your individual path, because that is going to make a difference in your future's walk. Your understanding of how you walk is the greatest key to who you are. So if you are walking in a path of ego, of negative or sad story, or in hurt and pain, you are going to be mirroring that part of you. This is part of the new earth coming in, is how it mirrors you. It has mirrored you for a very long time, but now it is more like the mirror is right in front of you. So come into this with understanding and remembering you can have a very wonderful mirror coming forward for you. This dear one is figuring out that key. Or you can mirror the negative and the sad and the story and the hurt and the pain. I hope that you are in vision of light, love, and empowerment. Your choice is to be here now. Remember, when you wake up, it's a new day, it's a new life, it's a new understanding. You get into a new breath, like you get into a car. You is a new life, a new understanding. You get out and go into your day job. That is a new life and a new understanding. You get into another scenario at work. That is a new day and a new understanding. Then, when it is time to eat lunch or have a break, it is a new day, a new understanding. Do you understand that any point in time you can shift the realities of what is going on around you? Because every moment is a new day and a new understanding. It takes your mind, your emotions, and your story to be able to comprehend that. Do you understand? There are some people who don't. And those are the people that are going to be stuck in a negative reality. Have loving, kind boundaries with them. They are very much in pain and story of that pain. We do not need to stay with them or coddle them. But the more we give energy to something, the more the energy of that builds and grows. Energy conducts thought, energy conducts motion. If you conduct and you interact with something more negative, it's going to build. If you conduct something more on the positive side, that gives more energy. The still one did that well. She had moments where somebody was in disharmony and anger. She listened. She would use sometimes the words, I don't know what to say right now. I want to listen to you and honor this emotion that you have. So then she would not be triggered by that frustration and anger moment. And then soon that other person realized that they were angered and frustration because they needed to be healing that part of them. There's more in what I'm saying. Please rewatch this if you are needed, because we are all in the midst of big changes right now. Even I, coming into the story of who I am. I, Mikael, am here to give you the bigger vision of who you are. I will be here for you and with you for many, many lifetimes to live forward. Trust where you are. It is perfect for you. Trust where you're going. It is perfect for you. Trust the dips and the dives as they are perfect for you. But remember, you do not have to stay in the dips or the dives. You can be in balance of where you're at. I, Mikael, am loving you through these journeys, and we will see you soon. So be. May love be with you, everyone. Wow. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you very much for being here. Yes, I hope it was a good message. Oh, whew. I know he comes to me, but he's still star being. So it takes me a little bit. Okay, so, whew, mm, wow. He gave me a vision of, and I've seen this on the, hi Kim, how are you? Thank you. Um, that, he gave me a vision of what the stars look or the sky looks like. And you know how um must or oh he's doing our things in the Dodge or Doge thing. But he was saying that he put up some of the rockets up and they explode at the same place all the time. Well, he was hitting a starship. That's why he couldn't go up anymore. So they have a block so things can't go up because right now things are very um, sketchy about where they're at showing people. Uh, thank you. I appreciate you, Veronica. I appreciate all of you so much for being here. Please like and share if you would know this message would be good for somebody. Please follow for more messages. Okay, so let's see here. Uh, I have about 10 minutes that I could do some card readings. So I can do like maybe 3. Let's see here. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, that was a powerful message I could feel. And like I was on a show the other day, and they kept saying, "What's going to happen this next year?" And I said, "The most important thing is to come back to you. The most important thing is to come back to and stay centered in you, because it doesn't matter really what's going on the outer side. Yes, if our government goes down and we can't get into the grocery store, yes, it's going to affect us. Yes, it will. I'm not denying that." But there was something, thank you, Veronica. I will. But there's something about learning how to be more efficient in our life. How to be more efficient. Okay, Veronica. Let's see. Clear the cards. This is for Veronica. Veronica, Veronica, Veronica. Veronica, Veronica, Veronica. Thank you. Okay. Okay, cards. Clear them. Clear myself. Clear everything that we are. Stay centered. See, I was still all over the place. Center myself. Come home. There we go. Now you just witnessed me coming back to self. Okay, this is for Veronica. Huh. Veronica, it's about being centered. You are doing a really good job. You are very empowered. You're in the middle of coming into your fruition of your next steps. Trust this part, but stay as quiet as you can. I know you've gotten the Gale Knight many times before. There's another card here for you. But remembering it's about staying in your own empowerment. And we had a conversation how, like I told you about how don't give credit anymore for what you don't want to talk about, and you said that has been working. So stay with that as you go forward and into your story that okay, because it's time to take the risk to be with your community. So you're going to have to be centered in yourself to take the risk to be with your community. And you're coming into fruition. You're coming into fruition. You got some walking to do, but you're coming into your fruition. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So since nobody else has spoken up here, I am going to call, okay. This is a card for everybody. So the hawk, get their greater vision. Remember that a hawk spends a little bit of time to to find what food they want to eat, what they want to go for. They take advantage, but they stay in centeredness. If you ever watch a bird fly, they're centered. They're not necessarily grounded. So stay in your own empowerment that way, because the high priestess wants to come in and say, you have the strength and the magic to do it. You have that. And it is a balance between feminine and masculine energy. And when you stay in that empowerment, when you go forward in that empowerment, if you look here, that she's got the crow, oops, that one, the crow, she has her mixing of stuff, and she's got the wisdom of the mirror and the moon behind her. That stay in your in knowings, because we all have our individual magic, that we're meant to have our own individual magic. And when we get supported with that, when we understand that and stay centered in who we are, and we're not trying to make everybody else happy, that we go, okay, how can I be centered in myself and support others to be happy? It's not about us making them happy, but how can we stay centered in ourselves to help others be more happy? So find the balance of strength, get the bigger vision, know that you have the wings to fly, to know your own stuff, to know your own thing, because we're going to have joy when we get there. And I can tell you that I have joyfulness even when things are hard, because my joy is not representation of the world around me, even though it's impactful. Like me when I was crying on the stairs, because I didn't know where to go. No, I wasn't joyful then. But I can tell you, having that moment gave me joyfulness afterwards, because, it's a moment. It's a moment. Like the other day, my husband, love him. He was getting a little bit upset because I didn't replace the butter, because my ADHD, I forgot to replace the butter. And he was getting upset with his butter because he was baking. And that's a trigger moment for him, right? So there's a trigger moment. He says, I want a little bit of butter. And you didn't get out the butter so I could have my little bit of butter. And it was just a moment where it hit me and I started cracking up laughing. I had tears running. A little bit of butter. You want a little bit? And he got mad. You just stop. He was starting to laugh too, because it was a joyful moment. And that's the thing is that sometimes we have to have boundaries around the anger and the frustration and the stories, because it's time for us to have more joyfulness. I'm Natasha Venter at intuitiveclarifications.com. If you notice, my hour fee has come down a little bit. It's not been a bunch, but it's been a little bit. I wanted to honor these moments that we're going through. And so I brought it down to a price that I was more in alignment with. I want everybody to know that as we go forward in our life, I am here for you. Please watch my 2-minute, 3-minute videos. Remember, on YouTube, they're more on the shorts. I'm moving them around a little bit when I have time. And I just want you to remember that you're a miracle. Please like, follow, and support. And I hope and wish you blessings on your life, because miracles are happening. We have to believe in them. I'm Natasha Venter. Sorry, I have to scoot. I have a meeting that I need to get to. Thank you very much for being here. And, sometimes we don't go anywhere because we don't know where to go yet. And that's okay. It's coming. It's coming. Got to think out of the box and keep going. Blessings all. Bye now.